There are still many tribes that exist in today's so-called modern world, living by their own rules and traditions that defy what we consider normal. Believe it or not, some of them are not just primitive, but also truly terrifying. These tribes have practices that may seem anomalous or even inhumane, but to them, it is just a way of life. They are still an essential part of humankind's diversity, a living museum of our past and present. Join us as we take a closer look at 15 of the scariest tribes you do not want to meet at any cost if you value safety and, of course, your life. Number 15. Naga headhunters. Some tribes are friendly. They don't bother anyone and live in peace. But some, like the Naga headhunters, have a violent past that still haunts them today. These tribes are said to descend from the Mongols and have been living in the dense forests of eastern India since the 12th century. The Naga tribe lived for centuries as separate clans. But as they say, united we stand, divided we fall. They came together in modern times to establish a collective identity within the newly created India after independence in 1947. Among the many tribes, the Kac warrior tribe has a special place in Indian folklore. This tribe was quite famous for its ferocity and constant conflicts with other tribes. And it's not just their violent nature that makes them terrifying. It's their gruesome practice of headhunting. They believed that by collecting the heads of their foes, they could gain mystical powers that would bring wealth and fortune to their village. They even used the severed heads of their enemies as home decor. Yet, with the arrival of Christian apostles and the British pacifying the region, headhunting was banned in 1935. Although some remote mountain settlements continued this practice until the late 20th century, it has now died off with the last generation of Naga headhunters. Number 14. Asmat tribe. Hidden away in the misty mangroves of New Guinea's southern coast, the Asmat tribe lives in a world shaped by ancient beliefs and customs. For thousands of years, they've called this dense place home, living in scattered villages, some with only a handful of families, others bustling with over 2,000 people. To the Asmat, wood isn't just a mere material, it's sacred. They believe their ancestors emerged from trees, creating a deep bond between their people and the forest. But their beliefs didn't stop at reverence for nature. The Asmat were also known for their cannibalistic and headhunting ways. They believed that by consuming the flesh of their enemies, they would gain their power and transform into them. And they didn't just collect heads. They adorned them with intricate carvings as a display of reverence. The Asmat even used human skulls as pillows, believing it would bring them protection and strength. Well, this terrifying practice is now a thing of the past, but it lingers as a terrifyingly chilling reminder of the Asmat tribe's intense culture. Number 13. North Sentinelese. On an isolated island in the Andaman Sea, the North Sentinelese live as they have for millennia, untouched and fiercely protective of their world. Said to be descendants of some of the earliest humans to leave Africa nearly 60,000 years ago, the Sentinelese live in absolute seclusion, hunting, gathering, and relying on the island's resources. They guard their territory with unwavering intensity, showing hostility toward any who dare approach. In 2006, 2 fishermen who drifted too close were met with a tragic end, a reminder of the tribe's fierce stance on isolation. Attempts to make contact, whether by researchers or missionaries, have all ended in rejection, often forceful. Indian laws shield their way of life, forbidding outsiders from disturbing their territory, but it's a thin line between protection and vulnerability. The Sentinelese exist as a living mystery, holding on to a life that defies modernity, a world almost frozen in time. Number 12. Bak tribe. Deep within the northern forests of Palawan in the Philippines, the Bak tribe lives on the edge of survival, their traditions and ways unchanged for thousands of years. Believed to be among the first humans to cross ancient land bridges from mainland Asia, The Bak people live off the land through farming, hunting, and fishing. But time hasn't been kind. Today, fewer than 300 Bak remain, down from the 700 who thrived here a century ago. The challenges are relentless. Conservation laws that ban their farming techniques, logging encroachments, and devastating diseases have all chipped away at their strength. Young Bak often have no choice but to marry outside the tribe, adding to fears that their unique culture is slipping away. Though laws were introduced in 1997 to protect their land, they remain little more than words. For the Bak, survival is a daily battle, a fight to hold on to a heritage that feels more fragile with each passing day. Number 11. Skeleton Clan. In the remote highlands of Papua New Guinea, the skeleton clan of the Chimbu people is a sight that few forget. The Chimbu paint themselves as skeletons, their entire bodies transformed into haunting images of bone and shadow. To rival tribes, these eerie figures appeared like walking specters, bringing an intimidating sense of death to the battlefield. In their folklore, this skeletal appearance is meant to frighten enemies, making the Chimbu seem like supernatural forces protected by ghostly powers. When festivals are held, the skeleton clan becomes the main attraction, their skeletal art blending ancient traditions with the modern world. It's not unusual to see clan members adjusting their face paint with handheld mirrors, a mix of old and new that fascinates visitors. The Chimbu's body art, combined with their warm willingness to pose for tourists, creates a surreal experience, a glimpse into the living legacy of Papua New Guinea's mysterious highlands. Number 10. Kubo Tribe. Known as the Katos or Clubbers, the Kubo tribe of the Amazon rainforest has a reputation that is as fierce as the name suggests. In the forests of Brazil, they've lived by their own rules, wielding war clubs in defense of their territory and values. This intense sense of protection led to an incident where 7 members of the Brazilian government's Indian Foundation were killed after unintentionally crossing into Kubo lands. Surprisingly, no action was taken against the tribe, as authorities believe the Kubo weren't aware of outside laws. The Kubo, or Dlala as they call themselves, speak a Panoan language and are distinguished by unique haircuts, closely cropped at the back and long in the front. Their customs can be startling. Infanticide is practiced in cases of birth defects, as well as in extreme possibilities of illness. Expert blowgun hunters, the Kubo also rely on horticulture, growing Amazon crops like manioc and plantains, living lives marked by resilience and raw tradition. Number 9. Suri Tribe. The Suri tribe, hidden away in the rugged Omo Valley of Ethiopia, is known for its fierce customs and striking appearance. With a population of around 34,000, the Suri are primarily agrarian, living off the land through farming and livestock. At the heart of their beliefs lies Tumu, the sky deity, who they believe brings rain and fertility to their fields. The Karu, a spiritual liaison, connects the Suri to Tumu, but you won't find religious ceremonies here, only a deep respect for their ancestors, whom they believe guide their fate. But it's the Suri's physical displays that often catch attention. Suri men engage in donga, a ritual stick-fighting competition where bare-chested warriors clash with brutal strength, hoping to impress potential wives. Meanwhile, Suri women wear clay plates on their lower lips, a mark of beauty in their culture. The larger the plate, the higher the dowry, each inch a testament to both tradition and resilience, a symbol of the Suri way of life. Number 8. Moshan Tribe. Known as the Sea Gypsies of Southeast Asia, the Moshan people live a unique, nomadic life across the Andaman Sea and along the coastlines of Thailand and Myanmar. With roots tracing back generations, the Moshan spend most of the year on their wooden boats or stilted homes by the water. But the forces of modernization haven't left them unscathed. Tourism and irresponsible development threaten their culture, reducing them to mere attractions for curious visitors. The Moken have faced educational policies designed to assimilate them rather than uplift them. Without political representation or economic support, their traditional lifestyle hangs by a thread. Many Moken wish for an education that respects their culture rather than trying to erase it. They stand as a stark example of a vulnerable community battling to preserve its identity in a world eager to consume and commercialize even the most unique ways of life. Number 7. Cock-eagle hunters. In the vast, rugged mountains of Mongolia's northwest, the cock-eagle hunters live as their ancestors did centuries ago. These skilled Kazakh hunters train golden eagles to help them catch foxes, hares, and other game, a tradition passed down through generations, marking a boy's transition to manhood. With their black jackets, fox fur hats, and fierce pride, the cock hunters embody the untamed spirit of the steppes. The annual Golden Eagle Festival held in October brings hunters together to showcase their skills. This tradition isn't just a sport, it's a deep connection to the land and the animals that share it. For the cock, a man without a horse is as incomplete as a bird without wings. Their bond with their horses and eagles is a legacy, a piece of ancient life preserved against the backdrop of a world that's moving on, while they choose to stay rooted in tradition. Number 6. Mosuo tribe. Imagine a society where women hold the power, complete control over family, finances, and even relationships. This is life for the Mosuo, a matriarchal tribe nestled at the foot of the Himalayas, near Lugu Lake on China's Yunnan Plateau. Known as the Kingdom of Women, the Mosuo community of around 40,000 has captured global interest for its unique customs. Here, women decide who they'll share their beds with within a tradition called the walking marriage. The men return to their mothers' homes each morning, taking no responsibility for their children, who are instead raised by their mothers and uncles. The head of each household is a grandmother who oversees family decisions and finances. While their way of life has brought curiosity, it has also attracted criticism and modern influence, sometimes casting their traditions as primitive. But for the Mosuo, this matriarchal setup is far from controversial. It's simply the way things have always been, a culture rooted in mutual respect and independence. Number 5. Cargo cult. In the islands of Melanesia, stretching from Papua New Guinea to Vanuatu, exists a unique belief system known as the cargo cult. These islanders, upon encountering Western goods, began to view them as gifts from a higher power, leading to ceremonial practices intended to summon these gifts. Followers of the John Frum cult, for example, believe in a deity who brings Western commodities like canned food, radios, and tools, promising prosperity. While some see these rituals as unusual, the cults represent a cultural response to colonialism. The worship of cargo can be seen as a symbolic resistance, blending prophecy and tradition in an attempt to hold on to their world in the face of outside influence. To this day, the cults offer a fascinating glimpse into how isolated communities adapt and reinterpret foreign encounters, striving to make sense of a world suddenly filled with modern, inexplicable magic. Number 4. Yo tribe. Deep in the East Sepik province of Papua New Guinea lies the Yo tribe, a community so remote that reaching them requires a month of river travel or a 6-week trek through dense forests. Living in isolation, the Yo have only sporadically encountered the outside world, their first recorded contact occurring in 1988 when British explorer Benedict Allen stumbled into their realm. He was greeted with an intense display, a war dance with bows and arrows, a demonstration of their spirit and resilience. For the Yo, nature is their lifeline. They hunt, fish, and gather from the forest, crafting canoes for fishing, hunting small game, and gathering plants. Despite their seclusion, the Yo are known for their ability to navigate dense forests at remarkable speeds, showcasing agility that astonished Allen. To this day, they remain one of Papua New Guinea's many hidden tribes, living according to customs that predate modern civilization by millennia. Number 3. Chukchi people. In the frozen tundra of Siberia, the Chukchi people stand as one of the last indigenous tribes in the Russian Far East. Known for their reindeer herding and coastal settlements, the Chukchi have split into two groups over time: the herders, who roam with their reindeer, and the maritime settlers, who hunt marine life along the Bering Sea. For centuries, they've braved harsh Arctic conditions, making the most of sparse resources. Traditionally, the Chukchi traveled by reindeer and dog sleds, though now snowmobiles and helicopters have entered their world. Despite modernization, many Chukchi clings to their old ways. The 1980s and 90s brought tuberculosis, halving their population and leaving only about 16,000 today. Yet, their resilience is remarkable, as they continue to live by their customs and values. For the Chukchi, the tundra isn't just home, it's an inseparable part of their identity, one they hold on to with quiet strength. Number 2. Carano people. In the thick rainforests of Peru, near the Brazilian border, live the Carano people, also known as the Mashco Piro. This elusive tribe has avoided contact with the outside world for centuries, fiercely protecting their forested sanctuary. Sometimes, though, they emerge from the shadows, especially in recent years, driven by threats from illegal logging, drug cartels, and increased tourism. Recently, they made headlines after a deadly encounter with two men who had entered their territory, a tragic reminder of the tension between isolation and encroachment. Their language is a mystery, understood by few, which complicates efforts by the Peruvian government to communicate with them. Authorities are cautious, respecting their right to remain isolated as protected by the United Nations. With the forest shrinking around them, the Carano's survival becomes an emblem of resilience and defiance, a tribe standing firm in its beliefs, even as the modern world pushes ever closer. Number 1. Mudmen tribe. There are also tribes who use fear as their weapon, like the Mudmen of Papua New Guinea, known as the Asaro tribe. This small community, tucked away in the village of Goroka in Papua's eastern highlands, is famous for its eerie tradition of wearing mud masks. Crafted from river pebbles and hardened mud, these masks give the Asaro an otherworldly, ghost-like appearance. According to legend, the Mudmen once fled an enemy tribe, hiding along the muddy banks of the Asaro River. Covered in mud and emerging at dusk, they appeared as spirits to their enemies, who fled in terror. In a land where spirits are deeply feared, their disguise gave them a powerful edge. Over time, the Mudmen adopted these masks in their traditions, using them to keep enemies at bay. Today, their eerie ritual continues, serving as a powerful testament to the tribe's fusion of survival, fear, and folklore. And there you have it, guys. 15 of the scariest tribes that walk a different path from modern life. Each one holds a unique piece of human history. Their beliefs, traditions, and survival tactics may seem strange or terrifying, but for these tribes, it's just a part of their daily life. So, which tribe did you find the most fascinating? Did we miss any that piqued your interest? Well, let us know in the comments, and as we always say, if you find this video interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing content like this. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring because the world is full of wonders and mysteries waiting to be discovered.